Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Jodo Cast, your Star Wars gaming podcast. This is episode 91. My name is Evan Lewis. I am, of course, joined by Leo Andry.
Hey.
And Joe Latofsky. Yep, there you go. And we are joined also by a new patron, a new soldier for the cause has joined us recently, and that is Tommy Adams. Thank you so much. Go on, do your thing.
No, that's all I had.
Okay, terrific. Well, thank you, sir. We appreciate your contribution, and we will do everything we can to make more content for you and for all the patrons and for everyone who takes time just to listen to us. We appreciate you so much. And if you want more information about what this great words are failing me. I'm that blown away by his magnificence. All the awesome things that they do for us, you can over at patreon.com/thejodocast. They do awesome stuff for us, and we find ways to say thank you to them. You can find a link to that if you don't want to type anything over at jodocast.com, because surely you have that bookmarked to the toolbar of your web browser. And from there you can find the Patreon link, you can find all of our other social media, including our Discord server, which we strongly encourage everyone to come to. You don't have to be a patron. We enjoy talking with everyone about everything. Also at jodocast.com is a feedback survey where you can tell us what you love, what you hate, what you want to see different. And I think that's everything. Wherever you listen to us, please leave a comment, rating, or review. We don't say that enough. And it does help us out as far as getting the word out. So thank you all listeners, thank you all patrons. And now we get to find out what we've been playing. Let's start with Leo.
We need what you've been playing music. I think we've said this before. No, it needs to be like I don't know, kind of like bleep bloopy.
What you been playing? What you been playing?
No.
Let's find out what you been playing.
Just like some like bleep bloopy video game sounds.
There you go, right there. What you just said, bleep bloopy video game sounds. Just auto tune it.
Yeah. That's great.
And then loop it back a few times.
Man, I got stuck listening to some song on the radio today, and all I could think to myself is, it really is sad that auto-tune has become a replacement for talent. Because there was like two people singing, and I couldn't understand a word they were saying because they were auto-tuned so heavily.
Not that I disagree with your sentiment, but I think that might be the oldest thing I've heard you say yet.
These kids these days and their auto-tunes. Back in my day, we had manual tune. we had to adjust the knobs on the Betamax just to watch a movie.
We liked it, damn it.
Those cassettes only held 3 hours, but they were higher quality than VHS.
Let's see, what have I been playing?
The eternal question. What have you been playing?
Now that I'm all old and I was playing bridge and some shuffleboard.
I feel like I don't even know what or how it's played, but the game Canasta, I feel like, has only ever been played by old people.
You're not actually allowed to learn the rules until you're at least like 65.
That's when you start getting your Social Security.
It just comes with your AARP card.
Exactly.
My wife gets AARP like mail all the time because they have her name wrong in their database.
What?
Because her middle name is Rose, but they think her first name is Rose, and I think they just assume that nobody under the age of like 70 is going to be named Rose, so they send her stuff all the time.
Oh no. Well, I hope
I
we.
get old people stuff in my mail, but I think it's because the previous tenant of this apartment was old. Because I got an ad one day for like Depends. And I was like, "What is this? What have I been doing?" I was like, "What have I been doing online that the ad companies think this is what I need?" And then it said, I checked the name on the address, and it wasn't for me. I was like, "Whew."
It wasn't even or current resident.
I think it might have been. It was like whatever name was and current resident.
Rose Steinberg. Or
I was
current
worried that my
resident.
like online browsing habits had convinced some ad company that I was old.
Whoa.
Okay, for real this time. I've played some Legion. We just started up a league again at our local store. I got to stomp my opponent. That was fun. It's always
Sounds
good
like
to
you've
win.
been doing that a bunch lately.
Yeah, I'm doing.
What did you do the stomping with?
I ran a Veers with some snow troopers, like fully kitted out snow troopers, flamethrowers, impact grenades, the works, and a Weiss ATSD, and then four stormtroopers also. And he didn't get a shot off on my snow troopers until I got them in range 1.
Oh, jeez.
At which, yeah, and with the flamethrower. So yeah, I rolled on one of his squads. I rolled 11 black dice on attack against him,
Gosh.
and it was awesome. And he was kind of on fire with his defense dice, but I was just hitting him so hard that he couldn't keep up. And at the end of round 5, I had him down to nothing but a partially wounded Veers left on the board. Because, yeah, he was running a similar list. He had a Weiss ATSD and Veers. But he only had 5 Stormtrooper squads. Because, like, he used a bunch of points to give, like, every Stormtrooper squad grenades. And then he had, like, one of his squads had the HH-12 rocket launcher. But I kept that squad suppressed, so he never even got a chance to fire it off at my ATSD. So just didn't work out well for him.
So really,
I haven't got to try Boba or my scout troopers yet. I just picked those up today. So next week's game, I'll probably run those guys and give them a shot.
really quickly, does anyone run a Vader now that Veers is out?
Yeah, people do. I mean, he is not the worst. I mean, and once you get him in range, he's going to tear it up. It's it's kind of a matter of getting him in range and though I think once Anger comes out, that's going to be kind of a cool upgrade to throw on him. Really help with his damage with the saber throws. But yeah, I mean, he still gets played. I'll still always take Veers over him, especially since I like to have the points, especially with Boba coming out now. Boba Vader's a lot of points in my mind.
Yeah,
so.
I played against a Boba Vader the other day.
And let's see, I think about the only other thing is I played some X-Wing 2.0. We had our launch party that 3 people showed up for.
Oof.
Yeah, and one of them was the guy running the part. Yeah, so the guy who was supposed to be doing all the demoing and stuff. So didn't actually play the demo game. I just showed up with my TIE Swarm that I built out of my conversion kit and core set stuff, and we played a game. didn't really get into too much of the new mechanics in the game I played, because for the most part, everything I was flying and everything my opponent was flying all still behave very similarly to, first edition, with the exception. Well, I guess he was flying the Outrider with Lebo and 3PO on it, so I got to see how the new calculate tokens and stuff work. I sort of like how they've given droids like their own version of focus that's slightly worse. I don't know. And then we got to see, how things play differently now that you have to do an action to rotate the turrets. And really, when I was playing, Kurt was kind of murdering me. Towards the end, I barely pulled off a victory. I had I finished the game with my Howl Runner still alive, with 1 hit point left on her, and it was mostly just because towards the end of the game, I managed to get a few good rounds where he had his turret positioned wrong, and I slid my TIE fighters in or outside of his turret's arc at the time, and he couldn't get shots off at me for a couple rounds. So that's really the only reason I won. So I really like I like the new turret mechanic, rather, so you can't it's just not a constant 360 arc all the time. That's what I played. I do have, in a couple days, I'll be playing some Destiny, because one of our stores is throwing a huge tournament. Top 4 each are going to win a booster box, and then the next 4, so places 5 through 8, are going to win half a box each. So there's going to be some huge prizes and stuff, so it's going to be a big one too. We've got a fair amount of out-of-towners. I know there's a bunch of the games, some of the big game stores in Winnipeg have got a group of gamers coming down, and so that should be fun.
Cool. And Joe?
After kind of a big break, I've started playing Battlefront 2 again, because the squad system actually makes it a lot of fun.
When you can connect.
Yeah, waiting for that hotfix to let us actually connect right away, instead of having on the Xbox, when you start the game, you disconnected from the online, and you have to hit connect, and it'll say failed, and you gotta do that about 3 times. So I've been playing Battlefront, and I got in a game of Legion on Monday against a Boba Vader team. Managed to kill Vader. Did not kill Boba. I got 3 damage on Boba, and Boba just ruined everything he came up against. And one round, I moved Luke out and took a swing at him and did 2 damage to him. And then the start of the next round, Luke and Boba were engaged with each other, and we both put down. I played Son of Skywalker, and he played whatever Boba's 1 pip is called, that does the
whipcord launcher.
Token. Yeah, and I was like, okay, well, whichever one of us wins this tiebreaker roll is going to come out on top here, because if I go first, Luke gets to make 2 attacks on Boba, and I only have to do 2 more damage. It seems pretty doable. If he goes first, Luke takes 2 immobilized tokens, 2 suppression, and Boba just gets to walk away and shoot at Luke or shoot at some of my other guys. And he won the roll-off, and Luke got stuck in place for the round. At least he had his pistol, but he had to use Son of Skywalker on 2 pistol shots that didn't even kill any stormtroopers. It was pretty rough. It was, and in the end, Boba ended up getting his bounty on Luke, which was interesting, because we were doing Recover the Supplies, and I had 3 crates, he had 2, but killing Luke gave him a 3rd point, so it was tied up on points, and it was a rush to kill the people still standing holding the boxes.
You didn't manage to get rid of those last 2 hit points of Boba's to kill him?
Nope.
Because if you kill him, then he loses the victory points.
Yeah, it wasn't happening. At that point, there was like one Rebel Commando figure anywhere near Boba. Everyone else was on the other side of the board. Because we were doing disarray, and we had actually split our forces up pretty evenly on each side. It was Luke versus Boba and Han versus Vader kind of facing off. It was a good match, and I don't remember if... So I've played Imperial Assault and X-Wing, but I don't remember if I've talked about that since playing. In any case, there are 2 new videos up on our YouTube channel of me playing Imperial Assault and X-Wing that you can go check out if you want to know all the details about how that went.
Well, I think we may be talking about some of those things here in just a minute. But for me, I don't think I've played much of anything. I've been painting miniatures and gluing miniatures and basing miniatures and buying lots and lots of paint. And as much as we talk about FFG and the good things that they make, it might sound like we are paid to say those things, and it's going to sound even more so in a minute, but we're not. We don't really get a ton of things from them, but I will wholeheartedly say that I have had to send in a request for replacement items from various products 3 times in the last 8 months. And that might sound like a complaint, but they have been very quick every single time to turn around and very precisely and quickly get me what I need. They don't just send out a whole nother box of whatever. They send me exactly the thing that I requested. So shout out to them for getting me my stuff, which included a leg for an ATRT. So I had 2 right legs before. So yeah, that wasn't going to work for me.
And that reminds me, I'm going to have to crack open my Boba and my Scouts here quick just to do a parts inventory, because I've heard quite a few people who've had issues with their Scout troopers here, more so than I think I've heard people complaining about in a while, like not since the initial launch with people missing junk in their core sets.
To be, I don't know if it's not really being fair or whatever, to be pedantic, it is now Asmodee North America's part request service and not technically Fantasy Flight who's helping you out anymore.
You are correct, and I did think to phrase it that way, but
It's more on brand to
yes.
praise Fantasy Flight than
because I mean,
correct.
I'm sure I'm willing to bet that all that Asmodee site is, this is for a Fantasy Flight game, and then it gets routed to the Fantasy Flight parts department anyway. So it's still the exact same people fulfilling your requests. It's just the front end is slightly different, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, the box came from Minnesota, didn't come from wherever Europe.
Isn't Asmodee North America headquarters like in the same building as Fantasy Flight headquarters? I don't know. Doesn't really matter.
They did good, is the point. So
yeah, I've always had success requesting parts from them. So
if anyone is like, they're not gonna do right by me, no, they most likely will. So that's just that's the big news for me, is I got my parts and I'll be able to finish gluing stuff together and maybe do some practice games pretty soon. And I bought the grassy field playmat, which is only a 3x3, but it'll work for learning.
What? Oh, what? Did you buy the like the Rune Wars playmat?
Yeah,
Ah,
Does it say Rune Wars on
it does.
how much did that cost you?
40.
So for $20 more, you could have got a 6x3 from another company. Although I don't know if I don't know, is your table even big enough to?
That's a good question. I'll find out.
Yeah. But yeah, like this one, like my fat mat I bought, I think it was like 60, 65, something like that. And that's a 6x3. I don't know. I feel like compared to other gaming, like companies that specialize in gaming mats, Fantasy Flight's play mats are a bit overpriced.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were talking about that even when the very first X-Wing ones came out. But this one was sitting all by its lonesome at my game store, and I had $20 in credit.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
There you go. So you really only paid $20 for it.
Right. And I'm quickly racking that credit back up with my paint buying. And I did recently get some Army Painter paints and their actual war paint line, not just the primer. And that is significantly easier to work with than Citadel's.
Yeah, their pots are shite.
Yes, they are. I mean, I had to take a picture to help illustrate the paint poop that comes out of the backside.
Well, and not only that, but I mean, and they only seem to have gotten worse over the years. Like I have some old Citadel paint pots from it would have been like back in like 2001 or so. I would have bought these, and they're not like the round ones or these like octagon, hexagon maybe, I forget exactly, but they're like hexagon shaped pots. The top is still round, but the lids are so much nicer. They're way easier to seal, actually get closed in my opinion, and like when you open the lid, it actually stays open instead of just sort of flopping back down like most of the paint pots do here. I've actually been planning on buying a bunch of the small, like little dropper bottles off of Amazon and transferring all my Citadel paints into dropper bottles because I'm kind of sick of them.
Yeah, they don't bother me enough that it'd take so long to transfer all the paint into droppers.
I don't know. I mean, like I've watched people do it. It really doesn't. It's like, you know, a couple minutes per jar. This is basically you put a little bit of like the thinner that they use for like airbrushing and stuff, like the same stuff you would use to thin out your paint a little bit if you were going to airbrush with it. Put a little bit of that in there, shake up the paint pot, and then you pour it into one of these little dropper bottles. You can use a funnel if you want to. I've seen people who have no problem pouring it without the funnel, though. I don't know. I'd probably use a funnel because I'd make a big mess otherwise. And then it's just usually like, and then you do that. There's usually a little bit still left in the pot. Put a little bit more of this thinner in there. Shake the pot up, then dump it in the dropper again, and then you're done with that one. Put the little nozzle on it. Screw the lid shut. You're done.
There you go. You're done.
I'm fine.
No one asked you, Joe.
Oh my.
No one asked you.
But these Army Painters are also good because they're 18 milliliters in the dropper bottles for like $2 to $3 instead of $4.25 for a 12 milliliter in a poop jar. So I don't know. It's nice that Citadels are
I'm
also
forever going to call them poop jars now.
I mean, that's what they're called, I think. But you got to say it with an English accent. Then it sounds classy. But apparently the old tariff dispute is making it harder to get Army Painter paints because they come from China and Citadels come from the UK. So no trouble getting
Thanks,
those.
Trump.
Yeah, no kidding. See, if for no other reason, people should be upset. As if
I
there
don't know.
wasn't anything else.
This bottle I've got sitting in front of me says it's made in France and other EU countries.
Oh, really?
This one says
I may
made
have
in the
been
EU.
lied to.
Let's see this one.
Oh, yeah, this one says made in Denmark. Okay.
Made in France and other EU countries. Yeah, I was going to say Denmark is Army Painter's headquarters, so...
Well, that lady at the other game store that I went to must have been misinformed.
Or she's just making shit up. People do that.
They do. All the time.
Especially, it seems like whenever you go into a nerdy sort of setting, like a game store or something, it seems like the ratio of people just talking out their ass goes up. Like, I don't know.
You're not wrong.
I would agree to that. Or with that.
So the question becomes, how do we put a stop to it?
We need to all have the courage to be Carl Pilkington's bullshit man.
Huh.
It's a superpower with all he does is he flies in, points at someone, goes, bullshit, and then he leaves. But if they're speaking bullshit, so everybody knows that was bullshit.
Excellent. I think we can all agree to start doing this wherever we go. Just everywhere. Everywhere we go. So that's what I've been doing, playing, sort of. But now we're going to have a little bit of a different main topic. There's not any huge news. We don't have any big world-shattering things to talk about, but we're going to just do a bit of a show update. Going to talk about some things we've been working on recently, talk about some things we have coming up, and if anything else catches our fancy to mention, we'll talk about it because we've got plenty of time.
I wonder what the etymology of that phrase is. You know,
bullshit?
Like catches your fancy, like it doesn't.
I'm sure there was like some British guy with like a ruffle collar.
She's caught my fancy.
And he's not even that. Like just like a bird flew by and goes, oh, and someone goes, hey, that catch your fancy.
Oh my! I hope a bird didn't catch his fancy. Wow, maybe that was what they used to call venereal disease. She's caught my fancy.
That's
and
terrible.
I imagine like you going into some kind of like, quote, a hotel, and some lady at the door is like, "Oh, I'll catch your fancy. Need someone to catch your fancy tonight."
Same person came up with that came up with a big stack of magnets.
I think it was an ancestor of them. Unbeknownst to this bloodline, they are at the forefront of all sorts of like phrases and idioms.
I just want to see the webcomic of these people just going through life like Forrest Gump, inventing all these stupid phrases.
You know, it's one we haven't used in a while is a Wampa hole.
Bahoo?
With Wampa hole. I'm
Yes,
talking
Wampa
about
hole.
Wampa holes.
Right in the old Wampa hole. She's caught my fancy in the Wampa hole.
I want to hear George Lucas say Wampa hole.
Oh, so then beginning of the movie, he gets hit by the Wampa and he drags him off, puts him in his Wampa hole, and Han's got to go find the whole Wampa hole.
And now Han knows a thing or two about Wampa holes, you know what I mean? No, George, we don't know what you mean.
Oh, you know, like catching a fancy. Oh my goodness, we haven't talked about anything yet. All right, fine. I'll go first.
This is the bullshit episode.
It sure is. This
much,
isn't even like the drinking episode that we've been wanting to do forever and a day.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, we're always drinking. I don't know about you, but...
What was that episode? Was it the one where it was just me and Joe? I was kind of... And we answered... Was it where we answered people's questions?
Yeah, we did like an AMA.
Yes, last year's Evan's Gone episode.
Yeah, I was a little drunk on that one.
I don't think we were even that drunk when we were sitting here doing this recording. Anyways. Okay. So, some of the things that we've been working on recently. I'll just start and we can talk more about YouTube videos and everything else we've been trying to do. I've had a side project going with Christian, whom you've heard before, and his wife Kate. And I think I've mentioned it. If you haven't already heard the episode, the gist of it is Kate had never seen Star Wars with an asterisk. There was, she saw one but didn't really see it. So we were like, okay, we're going to sit you down and we're going to watch all of them. And so we did. And it's not like a commentary track, but we talk about what we're about to see, make any predictions depending on which ones we're watching. We watch it, we come back and we record some more and talk about our feelings of the movie. That's the podcast. And so we've done one for all of them, all the feature films. And we had talked about putting them out on the last Friday of every month. But we've had a really good reception to it. And we are really excited to release these. So we were kind of thinking about doing every other week, or maybe like the last Friday, like maybe the second Friday and the last Friday, something like that at least. Because we've got like 10 of them ready to go, and we want to get them out there because we've had a really good conversation about them recently, and we just enjoy listening to them again.
Yeah, everyone seems to that I know that's listened to this first episode seems to have really liked it a lot. So
I enjoyed it.
So good job.
Thank you. I will pass that along to the other two. So that's kind of been my thing. I definitely want to hear people's feedback on it. We like I said, we've already had good conversation on the Discord. If you've got feelings, make them known. If you want to lambaste us for not doing Machete Order, you're within your rights. But I made the ultimate call as to what order we were going to watch it in. And the other things that I wanted us to talk about were the recent YouTube videos, because we've had several. I think we've had more YouTube episodes within the past 2-3 weeks or so than we generally put out.
Yeah, I put out our first X-Wing 2.0 video, gameplay video. And I will say right now, I probably mentioned it before, I don't like the term battle report for gameplay videos of these games that I do. I might be weird.
You're not.
It doesn't work for me. A battle report to me is maybe like an article somebody wrote or a summary of a game.
See,
but when I'm sitting there recording the whole game, editing it, putting in like jokes or effects or something, it's not a battle report anymore. That's just a gameplay video that I've made to entertain you, not inform you about, the meta and things like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like now I have seen some videos where like the person is basically narrating the game continuously. He's all like, and then on turn 2 I did this, and and then my opponent did that. Yeah, I mean, and that when I saw that, I was all like, okay, now this feels like a battle report, and I'm guessing that it's probably more like, I'm guessing I haven't really been in the wargaming community until Legion, so I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing that like the term originates from the fact that before internet days, people would write up battle reports of their game and put them on the Warhammer forums or something like that.
It's more of a term
on their GeoCities blogs and stuff.
It's not like super literal, but it feels so like dispassionate to me that it feels weird to call these things that, because it's not like breaking it down after the fact. You're watching it happen at the same pace that, the people in the video watched it happen. And in any case, made a X-Wing video, which turned out pretty well for having forgot my normal tripod. And you can look forward to more of those if you're into X-Wing. And then we also put out a Imperial Assault video, because I know those are popular and they're still coming, with the new Spectre cell, the hotness that's happening. I wanted to play all my Spectre Rebels characters because I have them all painted and they are apparently pretty good. And so we made a video with that. And I want to shout out to Kurt, because he actually edited this one. I was editing the X-Wing video at the same time he was editing this Imperial Assault video, and I think he did a great job. I think it's better than all the ones that I've done previously, so if you like all of our previous Imperial Assault videos, check out the new one, and you'll probably like it more. But, yeah, YouTube.
It was very good. So thanks to him for doing the editing, but, don't sell yourself short on the hard work that you put in.
I didn't sell myself short. I never said I was bad. I just said he was better.
No, that's true, but you need to compliment yourself in the same sentence if that's the case. Otherwise, it sounds like you're like, oh, I'm never going to do it again. Wah, wah. And not too long before that, we had, I guess this was more than a couple weeks ago by now, but Leo got to spend some time with a gigantic Sullust Legion play map, battle zone, kill zone, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I would call it a table.
Table.
Yeah.
That's a word.
Or board.
And that looked pretty cool,
works. Too. Mm-hmm.
So if people want to be seeing more, if people want to see Leo's face, this is the episode to watch.
Nobody really wants to see that. That's why I grew a beard
to hide.
To help obscure it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
If there are things you'd like to see on our YouTube channel that we haven't done yet, or aren't doing, or haven't done in a while, let us know.
Yeah, I think that people really, like you'd said before, really do enjoy the Imperial Assault videos. They get a lot of views. So definitely going to have more of those. I think is the Sullust one, the Sullust map, that's one of the few Legion ones that we have so far.
We have 2 Legion videos so far.
But I think the odds of us having more up pretty soon, well, I shouldn't say pretty soon, I should say having more, period, ... will be high.
Yes.
Yes.
I hope so. I like the Legion videos.
But yeah, if there is anything else that people want to see, because you're going to see X-Wing 2.0, you're going to see Legion, you're going to see Imperial Assault. I guess we haven't really been doing any Destiny. I think all three of us are kind of winding down / done.
No.
No? Okay.
I'm still playing Destiny.
Okay, well, I wasn't sure if... I knew you had played some recently, but I wasn't sure if Legion was
I'm going to play on Saturday.
All right. So you're going to record the whole thing with like a GoPro strapped to you?
No.
Oh, okay. I think we should do that. I think we should just strap a GoPro to Leo.
I believe we will actually. They are actually going to be streaming some of the matches from the store's streaming channel, and if I remember, I'll host that stream on the JodoCast stream. But you people won't know that because the tournament will have already happened by the time this episode comes out, probably.
So you'd be able to maybe catch a replay, maybe, if the other folks...
Yeah, but I don't think... if the other folks have it on theirs, yeah. Paradox CNC. That's
the official store of the JodoCast. I don't know. Kind of is.
Yeah. I don't know. I certainly spend plenty of money there. I think that's it for YouTube, though, right? Video projects lately.
Yeah. I do want to. I keep trying to find time to do some more painting things because I don't know about anybody else, but I have just spent hours and hours, now that I am a painter guy, watching YouTube videos about painting and miniatures. So
watching other people paint is boring.
It depends. Oh, actually, I was going to tell you that I did start watching Painters Guild. I don't know if you'd started that yet.
I've never heard of it.
Pretty good.
I haven't. It's starring the older brother from Boy Meets World.
Will Friedle.
Yes.
And
his name is Eric.
His name is Eric. Okay, great. So Eric learns how to paint, and it's very good. It's very funny. And I'm sure there are some things that you, Leo, would probably just be like, no, don't teach him that.
I don't know. Maybe. But no, I guess when I learned painting, at least half of it was like sort of learning on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I painted a bunch of minis before I ever tried to learn the right way to do it. And even then I just like I went and looked up like some like Warhammer here's how to paint your Space Marines tutorial, and I did that, and then I've watched some of Sarastro's videos and I've learned some new techniques from that and whatnot. But I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't sit around and I watch how to make terrain videos a lot, though. That's always I find that way more interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm quite there yet. Hence why I got a mat. Plus, I need space to both do building and to put it somewhere.
Yeah, if you start building terrain pieces, that stuff takes up a lot of space. But yeah, I think the only other big thing we have upcoming is that we are planning on doing streaming for Extra Life here in the beginning of November. Extra Life Game Day is November 3rd. That's first Saturday of the month.
Yeah, why don't you tell the kids at home what Extra Life is and why we're doing it?
Okay, so Extra Life is, well, I mean, it kind of happens whenever, but like the big like game day thing they organize once a year, they do a thing where we'll play games for 24 hours and try and convince people to donate to you to raise money for the it's the Children's Miracle Network, right? Yes,
I think so.
Yeah, for the Children's Miracle Network. So anyway, so we're going to be participating this year. On that Saturday the 3rd, we're going to be streaming all day long. I think at some point we might have multiple streams going on, like if you guys are streaming video games on Mixer, I still might be streaming something else on our Twitch stream, because I think and we might also just we've talked about doing a bunch of different things, maybe playing some Battlefront, maybe doing like a role-playing session, streaming some Legion or some X-Wing throughout the day. Don't really have a set schedule at this point, I don't think. Drinking lots of coffee to stay awake for 24 hours.
Yep, that's going to be fun. I was trying to calculate like how many shifts we might do if we tried to split it up, and just trying to figure out, if one of us does this set of hours, then so-and-so is going to be awake here, and calculate for time zones. And it's like someone's going to be pretty tired by the time we get to the end, if not all of us.
Yeah. I'm just going to stay awake the whole time.
Just don't go to sleep. That's the key. Just don't.
Yeah. I played. It can be done. It's not that tough. I played games for. The one year at QuakeCon, I played games for 40. I think it was 43 hours before I finally went to bed.
And how old were
How many
you?
years? Yeah, I was gonna say.
That
How long
was
ago was that?
I think that was the 2000. Probably 2003 QuakeCon, I think. 2002 or
I feel
2003
like you're not allowed to
QuakeCon.
brag about how long you can stay up when it was over 10 years ago.
15 years
5.
ago. Oh, okay. 13 years ago.
I'm sure there's lots of other people who stay awake for 24 hours while they do the Extra Life marathon. I'm going to do it just to show you two. You'll be all like, I'm so tired.
All right. Do it.
I'll get a bunch of cocaine and stay hopped up.
Only if you put red food coloring in it, so we can call it like spice or something, so it stays Star Wars.
The spice must flow.
So at any rate, if anyone wants to donate for us to sponsor our 24-hour gaming marathon here, you can go to Extra Life, or it's extra-life.org. Up in the corner, they got a search for player box. You can just search for the Jodo Cast. You should be able to find us. It's kind of weird. Like, you can't donate to, maybe I set this up wrong. It's our first year doing it, but like I set up a team and then they made us each a team, but then you can only donate to an individual. You can't just donate to a team. So I don't know. Donate to me since you like me best.
No. I think this is how it's. You guys should probably donate to me because you know it's the right thing to do.
Is that how this works?
Yeah. See, now they might have some more incentive to help because it's not like they actually care about kids in need, right? They want to prove which of us is truly the king of the cast.
But yeah, if you don't want to search for us on there, we'll throw a link to our team's Extra Life site on the in the show notes.
And when does this happen?
Well, I said it already, but it's the first Saturday in November, the 3rd. Saturday, November 3rd. So exactly 1 month from the time of well, not exactly 1 month because I guess it's not 4 weeks, but whatever. Anyways, November 3rd. November 3rd we'll be playing. I don't know. As far as like what time of day exactly we're going to start streaming. So we'll start streaming at some point Saturday morning, keep going straight on through till Sunday morning, at which point we all pass out.
Perfect. That's a great plan. So stay tuned to, the place to get the most up-to-date update? That's not a thing. That's not how words work. The place to stay up-to-date with us is really Twitter and Discord. So if you hop on the Discord, you can directly tell us, like, hey, it'd be cool if you did this thing during the event. You could do that on Twitter also, but we can have more of a back and forth.
It'd be cool if you guys would just shut up.
I mean, we could do that.
Come on the Discord and tell us that too.
Man, I really wish I had a means of streaming Masters of Terra's Kasai, because then we could just do that for 24 hours.
We can just stream Super Star Wars for 24 hours because I predict that's about how long it would take me to beat that Jawa Sandcrawler.
Probably. Oh, and I guess if there's one other thing that was brought up recently by some listeners was asking if we were ever going to do commentaries again. And that's been on the plan. The old day planner has had it in there for a while. It's just been a matter of other things have come up. We've just been doing one show after another, or this, that, whatever's happening. So I guess whenever we really feel like doing another commentary track for old Rogue One, they could do it.
Right now.
Okay, right now.
You know what? It's interesting. This is our first commentary without a crawl.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is also our first commentary without the movie in front of us. So. Can I just like yell out and be like, where the f*** is the crawl? When we
Worst
do it.
movie ever. It's not really Star Wars.
I mean, my Star Wars has a crawl.
Hashtag
Not
my Star Wars.
I am the sole owner of this concept called My Star Wars.
Oh my goodness. So we could do that. So if you were really dedicated, if you wanted to sit through countless hours of me and other people taking apart Star Wars for your listening infuriation, you listen to the first part of Padawan Knight and Master, then you go watch the movie with our commentary track, and you come back and listen to the second half of Padawan Knight and Master. This sounds like a great first date for a listener and someone else.
Oh, man. Especially if that person hasn't seen Star Wars before. The first time they ever watch it, they get to listen to somebody else who's never seen it.
And then you talk
watch
about all the fucking hats in episode 1.
Or you know what? So they don't have the experience spoiled. They can just watch the movie, and you can just have some nice headphones on while you watch it right next to them.
I mean, that would certainly prevent the person showing them from just like quoting it ceaselessly, especially if it's like episode 4. People do that. I mean, they do just sit there and quote through the whole movie. Because people love it when others do that.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Man, when we get through all the commentaries, we're going to have to go back through and do a dub of the thing. We'll have to assign ourselves characters and we'll just try and dub. So then you can watch the movie with the sound off, listening to only our dubbing.
This sounds great.
Have to add in our own sound effects and stuff too.
And soundtrack.
Because if they're turning all the sound off, do the lightsaber fights.
Ah! Just every 5 minutes will be a Wilhelm scream for no reason.
just like the part where like R2 and 3PO are walking. I don't even, and it's like the one where like is it like R2 bumps into the back of him, or is it 3PO bumps into? I don't even remember, but Wilhelm scream when that happens.
Oh, that sounds like a winner. We'll win the next year's Star Wars Podcast Awards for sure with that. Okay. I think that's the last thing of upcoming. I talked about stuff we've done, stuff we're gonna do. So yes, Extra Life, folks. We definitely are open to suggestions. We have plenty of ideas, but hop onto Twitter, hop on Discord. Tell us what you'd like to see there and everywhere else.
Yes. Remember to stop, donate, help us, help the kids.
Yes, help the kids.
Extra Life is actually really cool because don't they like give gaming consoles to kids who are stuck in the hospital for a long time? Yeah.
They donate all kinds of like gaming stuff and whatnot to the children's miracle hospitals.
There you go, folks. A worthwhile venture. All right. I think that's it. I think that's an episode. So thank you, Leo. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, everyone, for your time and attention. And if there's nothing else, then I guess we'll see you on the next episode of the Jodo Cast.